My name is Charles Mertz, and I'm the third, retired from the U.S. Navy as a commander. After the tour on the Princeton, I had requested duty at the Naval Postgraduate School. We started out, the school at that time, of course, was at Annapolis, but before I could actually get there, the school was moved out to Monterey. So I turned around and drove back out to the West Coast to get back to Monterey. This was the early days of missile, anti-aircraft missiles, surface-to-surface missiles. And I was interested in learning as much as I could about that, and took a particular interest in the propulsion, missile propulsion. That was the subjects that I studied at that time. After finishing the postgraduate school, I went to destroyer duty. The one destroyer that I particularly remember was the first one I had duty on, was DD 707, the Soley. This, I think, was probably the best run and the most interesting ship I've ever been on. I learned a tremendous amount from the skipper, who took a great deal of interest in bringing we junior officers up to speed and seamanship and the rest of it. They are, destroyers, of course, are considerably different. The big ships ride heavy weather fairly well. You don't really notice it too much as far as getting seasick or anything of that sort. Small ships like destroyers are completely different. They feel the effects of the weather and the waves no matter what goes on. The big ships have to remember that the small ships can't keep up with them in really heavy weather, so they have to slow down. Fortunately, I didn't have anything to do with it, but fortunately, I never got seasick at sea. I was very fortunate. A classmate of mine, who I lived with on board the Missouri, was just the opposite. He got seasick on a battleship, and that's kind of unknown. In fact, he had to leave the Navy because of the fact that he was, and he did it on his own, by his own choice. He was not forced out, but he just couldn't put up with all the seasickness out of sea all the time. That was one of 4 destroyers that I had duty on, 2 of which were new construction, in being both of them built in the Bath Iron Works at Bath, Maine. One was a straight destroyer that I had put in commission as a gunnery officer on board. The other new construction was a guided missile destroyer, which I put in commission as executive officer on board. Somewhere in there, I had duty at shore duty at the Naval Weapons Proving Ground in Dahlgren, Virginia. And that was 2 years duty there. I went from there to command of an LST, the Suffolk County 1173.